Namaste, Suswagatam. Welcome to today's talk show by Indian Octaves with Pandit Tejendra Narayan Majumdar ji. I would like to start today's show with a few words about Indian Octaves. We at Indian Octaves are devoted to promoting India's traditional art forms and cross-cultural fusion in the USA through concerts, lecture demonstrations, workshops, and contests. We are passionate followers of the art forms of India. We are trying to make India's traditional art forms approachable to second and third generation immigrants from the subcontinent, as well as to the people from other parts of the world. I am Sumathi Ramesh from Dallas, the co host for today's show. I am a vocalist trained in both styles of Indian classical music, Carnatic and Hindustani. I have had the good fortune to receive advanced training in Carnatic music from Srimati T.R. Balamani of Bombay, and I have trained in Hindustani music under Srimati Shirish Tai Joshi and Srimati Madhubala Chawla, and have received the Sangeet Visharad from the Akhil Bharatiya Gandharva Mahavidyalaya in Hindustani music. I continue practicing and teaching music with their blessings. Hosting the show along with me today is Dr. Amie Maciszewski. I would like to say a few words about her. She's a sitarist and is an internationally acclaimed musician, teaching artist, ensemble leader, and scholar. She holds a Bachelor of Music and is a gold medalist, and as well as a Master of Music Merit Scholar in sitar performance from Vishwabharati University, Shantiniketan, India. She is a PhD in ethnomusicology from University of Texas at Austin. She's a Killam postdoctoral fellowship and in ethnomusicology. She has done her training under late Professor Suresh Mishra of Shantiniketan, West Bengal, and as well as she has been in training with the great vocalist Srimati Padma Vibhushan Girija Devi. Amie has served as a visiting professor on the faculties of quite a number of universities here. Her scholarly work has been supported by... Oh, pardon? Sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Ustad Ashish Khan.
She has received training, advanced training from Sarod Maestro, Ustad Ashish Khan. I'm sorry to have missed that.
Sorry to interrupt.
She's very passionate about women's rights and creativity, and she has published numerous scholarly journal articles and book chapters. She has also co-produced and directed 4 ethnographic films documenting her research with socially marginalized women musicians and as well as dancers in India. And 2 of these were award-winning. She has been teaching in Dallas locally as well as online. Now I proceed to introduce the guest of today, Panditji Tejendra Narayan Majumdar. He is one of the best known sarod players of the present generation. He has achieved that order of excellence and popular acceptability which ensure one's place in posterity. Panditji had his early initiation into music by his grandfather, late Shri Vibhuti Ranjan Majumdar, and later his father, late Shri Ranjan Majumdar, nurtured his considerable talent. Vocal and rhythm training under late Pandit Amaresh Chaudhary and Shri Anil Palit further ensured a holistic musical development in him. Tejendra ji was then accepted by the late Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahib as his disciple. 18 years of his intensive study under him matured his talent into a true genius. Recognition of this came in 1981 when he stood first in the All India Radio Music Competition and was awarded the President's Gold Medal and the Pandit D.V. Paluskar Award. After the untimely demise of his guru, he studied under late Shri Ajay Sinha Roy, and then under one of the legends of Indian music, Swar Samrat, late Ustad Ali Akbar Khan, until his demise. One of the best equipped musicians to carry on the great Senya Meher mantle, Tejendra ji combines the intellectual density and technical virtuosity of his gharana with an extraordinary tone, touch, and ambient melody which transcends any qualification. Above all, he has in abundant measure the indescribable ability to take his listeners along with him, the rare quality that is the hallmark of a genius. He is also a top grade artist of AIR and Doordarshan. Panditji has composed the background score of meaningful films to musical ballets, ever ready to take any musical challenge that comes up. He has composed the music for Bengali films like Shonchoy and Hononkal of Shaibal Mitra. He has also worked with the great filmmaker Shri Satyajit Ray. He has also composed and arranged music for different singers like Ghulam Ali, Pandit Ajay Chakrabarti, Haimanti Shukla, Arti Mukherjee, etc. Panditji travels extensively all over the country and abroad, presenting innumerable concerts, workshops, lecture demonstration, doing recordings, and taking up teaching assignments. He has been invited all over the world, to mention a few countries, which include Japan, Bangladesh, UAE, Europe, Canada, and of course the United States. In 2009, he was invited by none other than Pandit Ravi Shankar ji to perform at Hollywood Bowl, Hollywood, Los Angeles. One of his composed and arranged music albums, Soul Call Om Namo Narayanaya, has been nominated for the 2010-11 Grammy Awards. We welcome you, Panditji. Now I turn over the mic to Dr. Amie to start conducting the show. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Namaskar to all and best wishes. And Panditji, it's a great honor to be able to interview you. And I've really enjoyed our conversations, before this to get to know you better. And so I will begin by asking you a bit about your early training. Because as an educator myself, I'm always fascinated to know about talim and just how eminent musicians were taught. So if you could, you grew up in a musical family, so learning and practicing Hindustani music was very much a part of your childhood. And so if you can talk about that, I know you studied vocal, tabla, and mandolin, and in which order, I was wondering, and then how were you trained in each, and how did it all come together?
Namaskar. First of all, I would like to thank you all. I would like to congratulate Indian Octaves and giving this wonderful opportunity to share my experiences. And also, thanks to MEG, because as all of you may be knowing that she also belongs to our same Gharana, and she had started from my Khalifa, Ustad Ashish Khan Sahab, and also from Padma Bhushan, Dr. Girija Devi ji, who happens to be my wife's guru. My wife, Dr. Manasi Majumdar, she is also a disciple of Padma Bhushan, Dr. Girija Devi ji. As it happens, it's not a very it's a very natural thing that most of the musicians who have been performing or in practice from the very childhood, they have got the kind of atmosphere from their family. So it happened to me also, and just I grew up with that kind of atmosphere and environment. My father was a sitar player, and my grandfather was my main first guru, and in fact, when I was like three and a half to 4 years old, they have decided that what I have to play, I have to sing, or I have to learn. So it was not my choice. That a lot of people just keep asking that how you have decided that you would be taking sarod. So it was not my choice, because by default it was taken before my kind of consciousness or sense of consciousness just came into me. So in my family, all the children, they are first taught vocal music and tabla. So I also started with that. And as my grandfather, he had a great, you know, kind of vision that sarod would be the best instrument for me. And my father also decided.
Mm.
So I started learning Hindustani music in mandolin, because mandolin was a very small instrument, and at the age of 4 and a half,
Mm.
5 years, it was very difficult to hold the instrument like sarod. I never played any
Sure.
shorter version of this instrument. So I started with the full standard line sarod. So
Mm.
I started, and I was groomed with the mandolin and tabla and vocal music a little bit, and I seriously took tabla lesson for 6 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So after some time, one of my uncles, my youngest uncle, who was also the disciple of Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab. So he initiated a little bit, and I started playing a little bit, and then I was taken to Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab. And that time he was in peak, so it was very difficult to get the timing. So first he listened to me, and then he took 6 months to take the decision whether he would teach me or not. So after 6 months, I got a call. My father got a call from him, and then I was taken to him. And from that point, actually, the whole formative development and everything was done by Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab. I am so grateful that I have had a great fortune to have the gurus like Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab, later on Pandit Ajay Singh Roy, and Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab.
Mm-hmm.
So it continued for 18 years. So it was a beautiful journey, and as you know that our music is like Guru Shishya Parampara based, like you know there is nothing written. So I was allowed to write maybe couple of compositions and couple of exercises in the beginning, but the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the thing which I have learned from him by heart. So he used to teach me by playing or by singing. So I had to grab it. That was the process. That was the system. And that time also we didn't have the recording, any recording system or recorder.
Yeah.
Even when the recorder came, we were not allowed to record,
Mm-hmm.
because that generation used to believe that whatever is coming from the guru, that has to be here and here,
Yeah.
so that one can develop his own imagination, and he can grow in that way. So that's how it started, and the journey just went on and still now going on.
So, um, that's really interesting, and I'm intrigued that, and I know that that's the way of learning. I was taught. I also didn't record, but I was a young adult when I started, so I forgot a lot.
No,
So, but
actually,
when you're a child, you're like a sponge. But then, how do you keep the attention, the concentration? So, the concentration of a young adult may be more than a young child, but maybe were you just so fascinated that it just, um,
actually, this is the question of habit and kind of association, and with the kind of assimilation with the system. So when he started teaching, he used to give me 10 different exercises or 10 different bistars.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, I used to forget at least nine.
Okay,
But
so you
what
did this.
one was left,
Uh-huh.
that was the main source of that kind of exercise of remembering.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So gradually it just grew up. And
Built.
for that, actually, I had to have a lot more concentration. So gurus, they used to know that
Mm.
how to teach the student so
Uh-huh.
that the student can grab these things and imbibe the whole thing, and then he can produce
Mm-hmm.
his
Mm-hmm.
his own views and own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like always Ustadji, Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab used to tell me that I am giving you the colors, but you have to paint, you have to give the colors in proper way, and that's how your picture will be
Mm-hmm.
totally different from me, but it has to be a very unique.
Mm-hmm.
So the raw materials are there. He was giving the ways of thinking
Uh-huh.
and the spirits, and I used to think in that way. In the beginning, it was very difficult, but it took long time. It's as you know that it's a very long journey.
Yes.
Somebody is not being learned for 10, 15 years. It's very difficult to understand ABC of this subject. It's like ocean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's how
I'm
it
still
it,
learning.
uh, it it started, and I used to absorb the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
You know.
my father and my grandfather they were also very strict for riyaz and all this. Where
Mm-hmm.
I had to study and all these things. Definitely, I had to do. But regarding during the practice, the riyaz, it used to be very very strict. So that's
So
how
your
actually.
father, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes,
my
sorry.
father also took part in that way. Uh, so he also used to teach me, guide me the way actually I have to practice. Even in the beginning, it was very difficult to get the tabla accompanist. So he also used to play tabla with me so that I can be equipped in all senses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's great. So your father could guide you and make sure you were practicing correctly, because that's a big issue with parents who are supportive but they don't know music. They
That's
can
how,
just say, "Oh, he's practicing," and
yeah. In that way,
often.
actually, I'm very lucky, honored, and privileged to have the parents like my parents who really
Uh-huh.
had supported right from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
So that was the thing actually is very important in the
Mm-hmm.
formative stage. It's very
Sure.
important to make the,
Absolutely.
especially the techniques. The techniques are the main things which have to be developed in a very formative stage. And
Mm-hmm.
techniques are the tools, but these techniques, by virtue of using the techniques properly, the intellectual development and the music, everything got developed by
Uh-huh.
using the techniques. But that should be in the second line. That shouldn't be in the
Sure.
front line. The
Yeah.
front line,
Exactly.
the main principle of this music is the aesthetics, the soul of the music. It's not the technical virtuosity, but with the technique, one can get hold of that kind of thing, and that can be produced in that way, so that
Mm-hmm.
this required elements of our music could be put in right way in right place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Um, so I guess you answered another question, that your parents, your father and grandfather, decided to take you to Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahib to learn sarod, and then yeah, and I guess okay. So I'm just wondering, during your talim, as you got more mature, um, how did the way he taught you, it must have changed, right, as you
Of
grew,
course,
and also you became older and you became musically more mature, and how did that
absolutely, actually, in my lifetime, what I have experienced from my first guru, Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab, I have learned Yemen for 5 to 6 times
Uh-huh.
in
Different
different
stages.
stages. I
Uh-huh.
started with Yemen, and the last ever talim was with Yemen.
Uh-huh. क्या बात. Uh-huh.
So that is the thing, and actually when he used to teach me, he used to teach I one rag used to be for 8 9 months, maybe
Mm-hmm.
1 year,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time with one rag I could get the talim of the allied ragas
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I
like
see. Uh-huh.
Yemen Kalyan. So all the Kalyan thoughts, how it could be associated, some phrases, how it could be associated with
Yeah.
Shad Kalyan, how it could be with Bhupali, how it could be with Sham Kalyan. So when
Uh-huh.
I had learned that rag, it was very easy to grab the main principle of the ragas.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
it's very important.
Yeah,
So
that's yeah, fascinating when we've talked about that. So you learn the big rags for a long time, and that's why they're called in Hindustani music tat ragas because they encompass so many other rags, right? So if you learn that really, really thoroughly and at different stages, then it opens so many windows and doors, right, to the allied rags.
of
Yeah.
course, and also the some particular like the nomenclature, like the Malhars, the Kanaras, the Sarangs. So that's how actually it used to be discussed and used to be taught.
Uh-huh.
Like if I take the sarang, then
Uh-huh.
how sarang, God sarang, Miyaki sarang, Madhumat sarang, Mek sarang. So all the sarangs, how it could be differentiated from one rag to another rags. What are the key phrases of the ragas?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
what has to be avoided? What has to be included?
Mm-hmm.
Because one aspect is very, as you know, that one aspect is very important for our music, which really beautifies, that is the avirbhav and tirobhav.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
avirbhav means just inviting some phrases of other ragas, and now and then you have to uh, take them away.
Yeah. That's
Just
Tirobab.
to, just
Tirobab is taking them away,
taking
right?
it away. Yeah. At the
Yeah.
same time, that really beautifies and enriches the real beauty of the rag.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's how actually it's being depicted, and you could develop the normal proceedings of the ragas, the barhat, which is called barhat.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there are so many actually. If I go into it in detail, that should be very, very technical. So it's
Yes.
not very
Yeah.
easy to understand. So
Yeah.
just to
We'll talk
cut
about
this.
it offline.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about it offline.
Yeah.
Thank you. And did he teach you in order or randomly? Some ustads teach kind of randomly, some ustads teach systematically. Um, how was that for you?
Are you asking about random or systematically in terms of the frequency of learning or the ragas you are
No,
asking about?
I'm talking about the stages of learning, starting with exercise, say
No, no, no.
bol palta and then rag, then rag.
This
So
bol palcha.
bol
Listen.
palta is the exercises.
So the exercises are very important that I had to learn
Yeah.
from him, and a lot of
Yes.
exercises what he had made me practice. Even some a lot of things he just made me practice. Sometimes he didn't play in the concert, but he made me practice in that way.
Yeah.
He used
Yeah.
to
Just
play.
to be able
Yeah.
to do it. Yes. Uh-huh.
And he was so imaginative. He used to take a lot of I could say it's a lot of challenges, which are not very very familiar with the sarod playing. So that's how actually he gave me the spirit to do a lot of things which are not very oftenly played or seen in sarod
In
play.
Sarod. I see. Okay. Uh-huh.
So at the same time, with the right hand movements, the
Bol.
the Pakasip styles and the Rababang bol and bolkaris,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
a lot of things, and also the terminologies like gamak, zamzama,
Mm-hmm.
which are very important phrase in important terminology which are used for formatting the bandish. We have
Yeah.
so many great bandishes that that particular terms, that particular technology, the
Uh-huh.
terminologies are
Uh-huh.
very important to use that.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Very much used in the composition of the bandish.
And did he teach that separately so that um,
Yeah.
first you can
Yeah.
do it and then put it in the bandish in the composition, or did he teach the composition with
A
that
lot
and
of
then?
lot of exercises he made me practice, and sometimes some newer things
Uh-huh.
what come during the teaching. He used to show me, and then once again he made me practice with that particular bowls or patterns.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So it is very important thing that the stages, what it's a very pertinent question, because that's how the the holistic approach of the raga should be completed and should be understood by a student.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
that's what
that's
I mean. That's
very
pedagogy.
important. Yeah. That's
And
very important, that for the techniques.
uh-huh.
Always he used to tell that these two hands have to be your obedient servant, kind of obedient servant. Whatever the comments should come from here, it has to be translated immediately with two hands. And
Yes.
if these two hands don't move, then the flow
Oh,
of thoughts won't be like that.
exactly.
It would be stopped.
Yes, yes. And that's a problem, if I may, that, you know, I learned first in an institutional setting, and then I learned from an ustad. So my mind was developed, that's the problem in institutional setting, you get a degree and all this, but you learn five rags in a term, right? Supposedly learn. And
The
those
10
tech,
thalas and the basic ragas and the compositions, that's the institutional. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and
the
it's
way.
like dumbed down. We say in American, dumbed down. So a lot of those techniques that beautify the composition are not there because either the student can't do it because you have to practice that otherwise, or they just don't teach it because it takes time, and you won't complete the syllabus. So yeah. So that's a very important thing in the Guru Shishya Parampara, you know. Um, when did you realize that this is your path, or it just was there all the time, that this is going to be your life's work?
Actually, that was in the beginning. The love was there, the passion was there, but for a child of at the age of 10, 11, 12, it's
Yeah.
not very easy to absorb and grab the main principle of this music, the
Of
beauty of
course.
this music.
Yeah.
As I was just getting older, growing up, gradually the intensity of attraction that really grown up. And when I was like around 18, 17, 18 years old, because I was not allowed to play outside. My
Uh-huh.
ustad didn't let me play. Even my father also didn't allow to play outside. So their principle was like, once the ustad will take the decision that yeah, he is now in
You're
that
good.
position,
Uh-huh.
he doesn't have to look back. Then they used to allow the student to play for the public, you know.
Hmm.
So I stood first in All India Radio Music Competition, and that was the first break. And then I thought that, and a lot of senior musicians, they started telling that, you now you have a lot of responsibilities and you have a lot of things to give, to offer to the universe through your music. So that's how actually I was more engrossed with music, and then the riyas and all these things that happened, and the result came after that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the age of 20, 21, 22, I think I first played for the public concert. So,
Wow.
and then it happened. Like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
the first foreign tour was at the age of 26.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you never thought of taking another job for for money?
I was offered actually. I belong to a very middle class family, so all the
Right.
this is very natural. But
Sure,
my
that you
father
get a job. Yeah.
always tell me that if you take the service, if you are in the service, then your music will be gone. Even I was offered with the musical institutions job, like All India Radio. I got the job in All India Radio, but I didn't take that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to take that risk,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
by
It paid off.
Guru's blessings and by Almighty's blessings, whatever I am, I am.
Uh-huh. Um, Sumathi, you have some questions. I feel I don't want to dominate this, and you have
Oh,
some good questions, so please proceed.
it was interesting to hear Panditji share
Yeah.
so much of his knowledge.
Yeah,
So,
thank you for being so open about sharing. We
um,
Oh,
really appreciate it.
I have no problem. Thank you so much. Yeah, I we also get very few occasions to share this kind of things. So you are also letting me instigate to.
You're inspiring me. You're inspiring me. So, you know, so yeah, please go ahead, Sumathi.
Panditji, you just mentioned that you were taught many exercises, like all the paltas and all the different techniques. Would you like to share a couple those exercises which were unique to your Guru Sishya training, and
No,
and
there
also
are
explain
so many unique things. It's not very easy to
okay. Anything?
display here.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh,
but Yeah, but I can show you something which is very unique for our style of sarod playing.
okay. I was
Like,
also going to ask you, sorry to interrupt, but I was also going to ask you if you could demonstrate with your playing the difference between the Tantrakari Ang and also the Gaiki Ang. And how does Meher Gharana incorporate the Gaiki Ang?
so I am just going to play raga as your time is like between 12 and 1. So I'm just going to play one sarang. This is called God sarang.
Ah, ha, ha. Yeah.
So should be excused. Actually, this is a very delicate instrument. We have to take care of 25 strings, and it's not very easy to keep all the 25 strings in tune. So, so this part is very unique for the Maya style. This is called Zamzamam.
वाह,
वाह वाह वाह
धन्यवाद पंडित
क्या
जी।
बात क्या बात
I
So
wish
this
it
is
could
a
go
little
on.
bit small presentation.
Yeah, wish it could go on forever.
yeah really um
Okay. Amy, you
so
can.
there's
Yeah,
I'm sorry
you can take it
Sumathi.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm just responding to, there's a question from the audience which it touches on an interesting point that your guru grandfather, Ustad Ayat Ali Khan Sahib, right, was
Yeah.
Bahadur Khan Sahib's father, right? Who was the brother of Baba Alauddin Khan Sahib,
Youngest
father,
brother of
my guru, grandfather. Yeah, he was an instrument maker. So there's a question from the audience about the design of the Maihargana Sarod, and we know that it is different than the
Yep.
other Gharana. And what do they even call the Amjad Ali Khan Sahib? What do they call their Gharana? I don't know
No,
actually.
let me tell you, it's a very important and very
And
interesting
it's a
question.
controversial question, right?
Whatever I have come to know, and which actually which has got some historical references. On that basis, I would like to let you know that the root of this instrument
Sure.
basically that came from the Middle Eastern instrument like
Rabab.
lute. So Persian
Okay.
rabab,
Yes. Uh-huh.
that is the shape wise also that is the root of the sarod. So what has been
Yes.
found
Uh-huh.
that the Afghan soldiers they they had the rababs, and when they
Hmm.
had gone back to their own country, they had sold their instruments. So the great ancestor musicians, they with their genius, they have redesigned that instrument because for that rabab, they used to have a wooden fretboard
Hmm.
with the rabab's width of this part is not that
Right.
much
Much
lesser than
smaller.
this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the strings used to be with gut strings. We use the steel strings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for getting the sustenance and the needs with the glidings and all this,
Mm-hmm.
to get the real essence of our music, gradually everybody started thinking how it could be more uh, apt to bring out the real essence of our music.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a lot of thoughts and a lot of other gharanas like Shahjahanpur Gharana with Muhammad Amir Khan Sahab Gharana,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
who was the guru of great Pandit Radhika Mohan Maitra,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Shahjahanpur.
Yes. Oh, of course.
They used to have different patterns instrument, and with the help of Ustad Ayat Ali Khan Sahab, Ustad Alauddin Khan Sahab has designed this instrument.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This size has been the, formed and designed by him, and
Mm-hmm.
all the strings what were used, the number of strings that got changed to 25 strings. In other
Mm-hmm.
gharanas, they have lesser strings.
Mm-hmm.
So we have four main strings to be plucked. These four strings are called
Mm-hmm.
Tanpura strings. These two strings are called Chikari strings, and we have 15
Right.
Tarop strings or
Got it.
sympathetic strings. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how they had experimented a lot, and finally they had been able to get this particular design, and that really gave the required kind of quality sound. So that's the thing actually, and that was designed by Salahuddin Khan Sahab.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Ustad Ayat Ali Khan Sahab, he was a Surbahar player. In fact,
I
you may be
Uh-huh.
knowing that Ustad Ayat Ali Khan Sahab was invited by Rabindranath Tagore, and he used to be in Shantiniketan
Ayatollah Khan
for
Sahib.
yes,
Oh, I
yes,
know Baba Alauddin
yes.
Khan Sahib was. Yeah.
No,
Uh,
he was invited, but finally he sent Ustad Ayat Ali Khan Sahab over there.
oh. But
Yeah,
Baba Alauddin also spent some time there, and Ashishda
yeah,
went with him as
yeah,
a small boy. Yeah. So.
yeah. And Ayat Ali Khan Sahab was also there.
Mhm.
So he actually then he made that great, shop of Alam Brothers. The name of that uh, The instruments shop
Oh,
was Alam Brothers, and afterwards, the main instrument maker who just passed away,
mhm.
who is himself a legend instrument maker, that is Hemen Babu, Hemen Sen. He used to be the student disciple of Ustad Ayat Ali Khan Sahab. He also learned how to
Him
make the
and
instrument.
I see.
Ayat
That's
Ali
why
Khan
he's
Sahab.
so close to the family. Okay,
Yes,
that's why.
yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's very. I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess this will, thank you for that. That's very interesting information, and I think it's lesser known information. I knew about the transformation of the instrument, but these details I didn't know. So thank you for sharing that. And I think Sumathi was, she had asked about the Gaikyung, right, in the My Hair style of playing, and you demonstrated it beautifully.
Gaikiang means it's not necessarily Gaikiang means only the Khayal style. Our style, so the Alauddin Khan Sahib,
Exactly.
Baba Alauddin Khan Sahib, he took all the materials from different genres, like from Drupad, Khayal, even in the light classical also a lot of
Yeah.
Tumri styles. So that's how it's called Gaiki. Like if I sing
Exactly.
like ah 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 na, na. So if I play like this, da no na na no.
Uh,
Da da na na da no na da na
uh,
na
Ah,
da 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 no. So I am basically just transcribing the whole thing in instrument. So that's how it's called Gaiki.
mm-hmm. Uh-huh, of
Not
course.
necessarily that I have to play all the Khayal Gaikis, Khayal Bandishes.
Right, right.
So and also I have added some other things also. So that's a different discussion. It will take long time to
Okay,
to
we'll
this.
do that offline. So I think Sumati, you had some more questions?
yes, I had questions about if you have composed music for films, dance, dramas, ensembles. What was your inspiration behind that? I mean, how did you
Oh,
take to it being a
oh,
classical?
that inspiration came from my father, because my father was a composer and he was in light commercial music, and he traveled whole world with none other than Uday Shankar ji.
Uh,
So he was associated with so many ballet productions, and he composed, and that in that part actually I have learned from him. And also I just learned how to compose the music from him and from my ustad, from Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab. As you might be
Because
knowing
you
that
also, yeah.
Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab was great composer of lot of award-winning films and international standard films. He had worked with Ritvik Ghatak.
ah,
So
mhm.
all the legendary films he made the music track. So in my childhood, I also observed those, and that helped a lot.
Oh,
That's how it.
I see. So you absorbed those tracks, those
Yeah,
compositions, and that
yeah,
gave
yeah, yeah.
you
I've
an
seen that
idea.
while composing. In fact, I have taken participation in those kind of productions.
Ah,
That's how it
That's
started.
uh-huh.
all.
And Panditji, what has your experience been with jugalbandis from a different, with a different genre, Carnatic music, Hindustani music, jugalbandis? Have you enjoyed doing them?
Yeah. It's a beautiful journey. Actually, I have traversed. I first I play often with Carnatic musicians, and I played with so many great instrumentalists in Hindustani music also. Even with the vocal music, I have played with Ustad Rashid Khan, with
Oh,
Pandit Ajay Chakravarti, with Balmurali Krishnaji. I am so blessed to have that chance to be on the same stage to share
wow.
with him. And actually, the duet concept, that is very popular, and now also it's very popular. But in the beginning, I have performed with so many great sitar players. I had to start with Ustad Shujat Khan, with Pandit Kushal Das, with Ustad Shahid Parvez, with Pandit Nayan Ghosh, and so many,
Nice.
and mm, with the Carnatic musicians, I have started playing with a lot of violin players like Dr. Mysore Manjunath
Oh, yes, I've
and
seen.
me,
Right.
with Ganesh and
Yes.
Kumresh, with Shashank Subramaniam,
Oh,
with Ravi Kiran, Chitravina Ravi Kiran.
very nice.
So many musicians I have worked with, and I still perform with them. I really enjoy playing with them. It's a totally different ball game.
Yes. Yeah, and
Duet
what is
is
a
always like, I think it's always, it has to be 1 plus 1 is equal to 1.
yes, that should be
Mhm.
true. And Amy, do you have any other questions before I ask him the experience about the students then and now?
Oh, well, I think that in you're also, a musical philanthropist. So you have, since 2013, I believe, you've been putting on, you and Manasiji, your wife, and your son now, Indrayud, you've been putting on this Swar Samrat festival, which is huge, huge, with bringing in the top of the top of musicians in India, and giving them awards and working tirelessly. I know in my small way that production is kind of a thankless task, but you are facilitating the top level music for the public. So if you want to just talk about that a bit, please.
Yeah, actually, when Baba Usad Ali Abul Khan Sahab, he left in 2009, I started thinking to do something which should be at par with the level of Baba Usad Ali Abul Khan Sahab.
Uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
I was waiting for to start with a big bang. Otherwise I won't do. So we three started thinking how it should be done, but it was, as I am not an organizer, and it's not very easy to get hold of this kind of big festival in Calcutta, especially. It's not very easy to get the sponsorships, and so many things to be taken care of. So finally, in 2013, in 2012, also Pandit Ravi Shankar ji passed away. So
Mhm.
we started thinking that the first, our tribute will be towards these two giants,
Uh-huh.
Sardar Ahmad Khan Sahib and Pandit Ravi
Yeah.
Shankar ji.
Uh-huh.
And we named after Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahib because the title Sar Samrat was given by none other than his father, Ustad Alauddin Baba Alauddin Khan Sahib. And Baba, we used to call Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahib as Baba. Baba had
Right.
liked the best, the most is Sar Samrat, that title, as it was given by his father. So
Father.
we named the festival as Sar Samrat Festival, and it was
Mhm.
like, it was very difficult, and we had at least faced a lot of difficulties to get the things done, but somehow with the blessing of Baba and all my gurus, and it was absolutely jam packed, and the way actually I wanted to do, because that was the 2 days festival. First day was the first item was all night concert, Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma. Second item, Pandit Biju Maharaj. Third item, Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia. And the last item was Pandit Jasraji. Only 4 items. It was huge success. The whole
Of course.
Najrul month, it was like 4,000 people. And the next
Oh,
day
wow.
in the evening, there were 3 items. First one is Ustad Ashish Khan Saab with Pandit Sapan Chaudhary. Second item
Mm-hmm.
was uh, Padma Bhushan Dr. Girija Devi ji.
Oh,
And the last item was Ustad Zakir Hussain.
अरे वाह.
Ah, क्या बात.
So that was a boom, So people really didn't expect, and the quality and the presentation we tried to do in a totally different way. The stagecraft, the presentation, the marketing, it's little uh, different from other festivals we tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
And second year, the Sar Samrat Festival, the name was same, but it was dedicated to my first Ustad, Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab.
Mm-hmm.
So that really started continuing, and people had a lot of expectations from this. So we can't get it smaller. So this was the 8th year. This was the 8th year, and uh, it's by grace of God, it has become one of the topmost premier
It's
festival of
fabulous.
the
Yeah.
country, and we get a lot of international audience. They just wait for Sar Samrat Festival, but this year I don't know. As we are facing
Yeah, yeah.
very difficult time for that COVID-19, so it's very very difficult. I don't know this year what will happen.
Right.
But all the topmost musicians, they came, and they have this year, last, I mean 2019,
Yeah, I
we
went.
had Mr. Ashish Khan Sahab once again,
Uh-huh.
and he was given the most prestigious Sar Samrat Ratna Award.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Ustad Zakir Hussain was there, and who else? All, I think, 8, 10 musicians. So Pandit
Uday
Ajay Chakraborty was
Bavalkar.
there.
I remember Uday Bavalkar.
Uday Bhavalkar was there.
Uh-huh.
Uday Bhavalkar, I think Uday Bhavalkar is, yeah, Uday Bhavalkar is this year. Uday
Yes. Yeah.
Bhavalkar was there, and who else? Pandit Kumar Bose solo, tabla solo was
Yes.
there,
Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
uh, and one South Indian item was also there. Always we try to keep. Oh, we had Karaikuri Maniji for 2 times.
Oh, Mridangam.
This year also he came.
Mm-hmm.
Karaikuri Maniji. So that's how actually it is. It's really difficult, but somehow actually my son and my wife, they are the main inspirations, and my son actually he takes care of the whole presentation, the marketing, and in his young uh, fresh thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
tries in different ways, and that really made a great differentiation between
Sure.
other festival with Sar Samrat festival.
That's nice. That's nice.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's excellent. Congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
yeah.
I don't know how long it will be possible for me to continue, but
You're young. Come on.
We will pray that it
definitely.
does.
Sangeet mein,
And right
so
from the
I
beginning,
sing
I have to say, right from the beginning, two persons were there continuously. One was Pandit Sapan Chaudhary, because Pandit Sapan Chaudhary was the first person who had uh, told me that you just go ahead with the blessing of your guru. It definitely is
Uh-huh.
going to be a hit. So
Mm-hmm.
he and Ustad Zakir Hussain. He's Ustad
Ah.
Zakir Hussain. This is the 8th time consecutively he had come to perform,
Oh.
and
Uh-huh.
I have told him that without you and Sapanda, Sar Samrat Festival wouldn't be possible to hold this festival. Everybody expects that these two will be there.
Oh. क्या बात. क्या बात. Wow. It's a great service to the music.
We try. I
And
don't have too many
hopefully,
people around us, but mainly we three, myself, Manasi, and my son Indrayu. We just try to figure it out how it could be very
that's
successful and
amazing. Yeah,
uh, to
because
conceiving
it's so
different
much
projects.
work.
Yeah, so much work. Yeah.
Yeah, so much work. Well, if only three of you. Because I was going to say, do you enlist all your students and Manasi's students and everything, or you do it on your
And
own?
I have to be busy with my concerts and all this, and it
Yeah,
takes a long time. We
I
start
know.
working from March.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And also we have started another very important thing. It's not only meant for the main for the senior musicians, topmost stars. Also, we have been presenting the young maestros who are the
Oh,
best
nice.
of the young musicians of the
Uh-huh.
country. We try to promote them also. So the
Uh-huh.
2 weekends we take. The first weekend is for the young musicians, and the second weekends for the senior and stars.
That's
Mhm.
nice. That's
Mhm.
really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're running, we didn't have time for certain questions, but we're running out of time. So, Sumathi, would you like to
One
ask
last
the,
question. Just,
yeah.
Panditji, what will be your advice for present generation of students of Hindustani classical, vocal or instrumental? Any special thing you would like to tell the younger
No,
ones?
it's nothing special actually. The thing is, I always keep telling the young musicians that they have to have a little more patience. They have to have the uh, proper respect for the subject, respect for the guru. They have
Mm,
to learn properly. They have to practice properly. And
practice.
if this happens, the rest of the things you just try to live on Upurwala. So if excellence can't be possible in lot, you know, but definitely something is going to happen if you give your best with your energy, with your perseverance, with your respect and proper practice. Definitely it will give you back a lot of things. So that's my only thing, only advice to them.
Thank you so much,
There
Panditji.
is no shortcut.
There is no shortcut. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And
No shortcuts.
working
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
a musician like you means a lot to us, and I'm sure the younger generation will understand
I'm
and
still learning. I'm still learning. I still consider myself a very, you know, uh, normal student of music. So it's endless.
Appaji, Appaji Girja Devi ji used to say that in music we're always children. संगीत में हम लोग हमेशा बच्चे रहते हैं.
Okay.
And she named these great legends, Kishan Maharaj ji, Bismillah Khan Sahib, all these people who were so elderly. And she said, we're all children. So I
Yeah,
think that's the lesson to children today,
absolutely. Ab-
and to older people too. It keeps you young, right?
I think
I
we're.
think we were.
Yeah, we're a little over time. So thank you again so much.
Thank you,
Thank
And
Pandit.
now
you.
it's quite late for
Great
you.
honor.
You must be
Thank you.
hungry.
Thank you.
Na? খিদে
And
পেয়েছে?
hello.
খিদে
Oh no,
পেয়েছে
no,
আর ঘুম পেয়েছে না?
it's okay. It's okay. I'm ready for that because I usually don't go to bed before 12:30. So
Uh-huh.
thank
But
Thank you
it's
you
so
so
much,
now
Panditji.
that time, yeah.
and hope to
All
see
right.
you all in Dallas because I regularly go to Dallas
Oh, that is.
so many
Yeah.
times with ICMC Dallas, and also one time
Uh-huh.
at University of Dallas with the South Indian Students Organization.
Nice.
Oh,
Beauty
Uh,
awesome.
nice. Yeah.
there used to be one beautiful violin player, Sundar Rajan, Delhi Sundar Rajan.
Yes.
So yeah, so he took me and another guy, Sanjay Subramaniam. He had shifted to Canada. Long time I have lost his.
Dr. Sanjay Subramaniam, I think. Yeah.
Sorry.
He's a physician too, right? Dr. Sanjay? I am.
No, 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 no. He's not a professional musician, but he
Oh,
He was very
No,
enthusiastic.
but a doctor, is he a medical doctor? He's a medical doctor? That's what she asked.
I don't think so.
Oh,
He was with the petrochemical engineering or something. Because last I have met in Calgary.
Okay.
yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you
well,
very
we
much.
hope to see you in Dallas, and there are other organizations also you can contact, or I can tell Indrajit
Yeah.
besides ICMC,
I was supposed to be
and now I know how to.
I was supposed to be in Houston
Sorry.
on 17th, 19th of September.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I saw you're on the Chandayan website. I saw your itinerary, and it's all messed up, right? You had so many things scheduled since May here
yeah,
in the States.
yeah.
Yeah.
My first started
So, but
from 1st of
everybody's
May. Yeah.
for everyone, it's like that. So we're just grateful to be healthy right now, no? And
Yeah, please stay safe and
yeah.
hopefully everything will be okay in next couple of months.
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
hopefully, hopefully. So
Thank you.
thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Tejendra Bhai, and thank you to Indian Octave.
Yeah.
And good night and good afternoon to
Yes.
all.
Have a good day
I just have
and
one
my
more thing.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So I
Yes.
just want the audience to know that we have three more shows coming. The next one is with Shri Vittal Rammurthy, a Carnatic violinist, followed by Shri Vijay Shiva, and then I am not sure. Just give me a minute. Yes, and then we have Prince Ramavarma on the third show. So please stay with us and log on every weekend and support this program. Thank you again, Panditji. It was really nice listening to you. I wish this could go on, your playing could go on, and we could listen forever. But we have to resort to YouTube, I guess. And then
Thank you.
listen to you
Yeah.
when you
And
come.
then hopefully we'll have you here. And now I can drive. I know how to drive in Dallas, so I can take you around.
Oh, sure.
Before I didn't know. So yeah. Okay. All right. Namaskar.
Bye.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Bye.